You know, Stephen Covey said it. He says, you begin with the end in mind. So, in the book that he wrote, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, he said, begin with the end in mind. Because if you don't have the right end, you're going to get distorted. Again, your view of judgment's going to look, the intensity of judgment, you're going to get offended by it. Or the wisdom of being committed to Jesus, you might lose touch of that because you don't know how glorious this thing's going to end. Or the revelation of his love. He is so extravagant. He's paid so much attention to detail in planning where this whole thing is going. When we see Jerusalem, then Jesus' zeal for it, we understand Satan's rage against Jerusalem. Then we understand why we stand for Israel. A lot of really on-fire believers go, I don't do that Israel thing. And I go, because you don't understand Jerusalem. Well, my church didn't do the Israel thing. Well, Jerusalem, Abraham was really grabbed by it, and Isaiah put it right in the middle of the end time, right at the very beginning of the end time plan. Paragraph D, look at Jerusalem. Now remember, it's Jerusalem above. The New Jerusalem is descending down to the earth, and it's going to have a dynamic connection, a dynamic conversion with the earthly Jerusalem. And Jesus' throne is in the New Jerusalem, and his throne is in the earthly Jerusalem, and they're connected, and it's one throne in what I call a vast governmental complex of splendor that's beyond anything we can imagine. It's not two thrones, it's one throne, it's one vast complex. Part of it's touching the ground, and part of it's the whole heavenly realm, and this dynamic convergence together with it. And here's what Isaiah says later in chapter 60, that the Lord is going to make Jerusalem an eternal excellence. So we know that there's something about this city that when we see the city and the king in it, and we see our inheritance with the king and the city, being radical for God makes total sense right now. When you see that, no cost is too great. No cost is too great. He said, Isaiah said, the Lord's making it an eternal excellence. It's going to be the joy of generations. I don't want to wait till then to get joy. I want to get excited by it now. I want to understand a bit about where I'm going, the city I belong to, the city of my beloved King. Look what Isaiah 62 says. God's going to make it a praise in the earth. What's that mean? That means all over the earth in the millennial kingdom, every city, every person will be talking about Jerusalem. They'll be saying, oh my, have you been there? No, but I'm going next year. Oh my goodness, put your seatbelt on. It is unbelievable. Not just the splendor, the wisdom, the generosity, the goodness of that city, the love, the impartation of God you get when you go in that city. I mean, the whole earth will be praising the city of Jerusalem. That's what it means that Jerusalem would be a praise in the earth, because the king will be in it, but the extravagance, the beauty, the anointing, the wisdom, the company, and the connection with people that you'll have when you're in that city, it's quite remarkable.